Miss Choate, and I do art videos on my YouTube page, Art with Miss Choate or Choate Studio. And you might have seen me here on the Winfield Library page before, and I'm here again for another art video. So today I'm going to be making dragons with you, and we're going to be making these out of cupcake liners. Now you can pick up a kit from the Winfield Public Library. They're doing curbside for those kits, or if you don't live close enough, or maybe you're watching this a month from now and they don't have them anymore, then don't worry. I will show you how to make this craft without cupcake liners. So we'll do them two ways, one with cupcake liners and one where you're using construction paper and you're making them yourselves. So I love Chinese New Year's. I love Chinese culture and Chinese art especially. Obviously, I'm an artist. So the dragon is a really cool symbol in Chinese culture, and it symbolizes power, and it shows up in lots of different legends and stories, and of course our art. So I'm going to show you a few images of that right after this, and then we'll get started. So go ahead, grab your kit if you picked it up from the library, or gather your paper, scissors, and glue, and let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick our background paper. I'm going to be using two pieces of black paper that I'll be gluing together because I want to make my dragon very long. Now if you don't want to, you want to have it be shorter, or if you want to have it be longer this way, you can choose the direction or the orientation that your dragon is going to be made. So I'm going to glue my two pieces of paper together this way. So now we can go ahead, and if you're picking up a bag from the library, you have all your cupcake liners ready, or if you're at home, arrange your cupcake liners, get them, or you can simply take a piece of paper and cut out a circle. So we can cut out beautiful circles, and those can be used instead of cupcake liners. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to flatten them, and we're going to cut them in half. Now don't cut all of them in half. This is the scales for the body. Now the reason I like to use the cupcake liners is because it has this awesome texture that reminds me of scales. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to simply cut them in half. And there we go. And I'm not worrying too much about making them very flat because I want there to be some texture in my dragon. So I'm cutting them in half. Don't cut all of them because you might want to do other shapes for other things. So I'm just cutting a few of the colors that I have. I have some blue, I have a little bit of green, and I might be making a pattern. I don't know yet. I want to see them laid out before I do that. And you can cut more than one at a time. Like I have a few yellow here in my hand, and I know I want a couple yellow, so I just cut them both at the same time. And then a few red. Now that I have a handful cut out, I can start to see them and arrange them on my page. So once you're happy with the general arrangement of your cupcake liners for your body, you can go ahead and start gluing them down, and that's going to be the way to really help flatten them. I still have a few that I had cut that I might use for the face, but this is our body, and I'm going to change it and curve it as I start to glue it down, but this is the start to it. And remember, you're going to have to start with whatever's on top is going to be glued down last. So we're going to go from the bottom on up. Now I'm finding with my cupcake liners, I'm using liquid glue I'm having a little bit of a harder time getting to control it because the glue doesn't dry right away like a stick glue would. So just be mindful of that. I also realized that I want this edge to show, so I don't want that glued down first. I want my straight edge to be underneath my curved edge. So that should have been happening first. So that's okay if you make a mistake. In art, you just simply pull it up and this glue dries clear. So I'm not gonna have a mistake and that's fine. So we're gonna start, I'm gonna keep these in my order. And we're gonna start with the head. See, look, I know that most people would probably delete this out of their video on YouTube, but it's good to know that mistakes happen and we have to work through them. And that's why this glue dries clear. So we want to make sure we are holding it down. A little bit goes a long way, but just know if you have to add some, that's totally fine. And just slowly start to turn your cupcake liners. You don't want to do too much of an angle at one time. And remember, like I said before, it's okay if the edges lift up on your cupcake liners because it's a dragon, so it's allowed to look fierce and come off the page. So you can see my pattern is at the beginning, it has two blues and then it goes yellow, red, red, blue, yellow, red, red, blue. But remember, you don't have to have a pattern to your dragon. And now we're going to keep on going. Now that we get this kind of idea, I'm going to kind of curve it as I go. So you can see I didn't cut enough cupcake liners, but I could either have two options. I could cut away the extra paper if I wanted to end it there, or if I have more cupcake liners, I could use those, or I could cut out paper, circles, and add them on, okay? But I do have some more, but I don't have any more blue, so I'm actually going to just extend it with some red for the tail. So it's just gonna end in red. So now remember, if you don't have cupcake liners, just draw out circles, trace circles, and then cut them in half. So I'm gonna do at least a few more of those to extend, let's say 2 more. And for my last one, I'm actually going to, instead of doing my ruffle like that, I could change up my direction. Want you to think, no, you know what, I'm gonna keep it going the same direction. And I'm gonna have it come off my page. That's called breaking your plane or breaking the edge because we're coming off. And I'm doing that on purpose. And I can rub that extra glue off. Because I want it to break the edge. I want it to be so fierce it can't even be held on the page. So now we're gonna go ahead and start working on the face. So you can pick whatever color you want for your face. I'm gonna go with a red since I have majority red going on here. And we're gonna open it up. We're gonna fold it in half. And now we're gonna cut off our edges like this. So we're cutting a straight line and cutting a straight line here. So we have a rectangle left. And then we're gonna open that up and we're gonna cut away the extra one. So we only have one rectangle. This is the face. We can hold on to these, we can use them later. And we're gonna put the face right here. We're gonna glue that down. Now we're gonna take the other one and we're gonna add it on because that's not quite big enough. So that other one that we cut away, we're gonna layer it. And now we're going to take one more, same color. So we have the base of our face. Now we're going to add the part that opens up. So we're going to cut it the same way, cutting off the edges, cutting off the edges. But now we're not going to cut them apart. We're going to leave it so it can open up. And we're going to put this right on top, or you can put it down a little bit so we have a bigger head here, okay? So you can kind of put it, I want to make mine a little bit longer, so I'm going to put it right here. And we're only putting the glue on the part that's going to be touching the paper. This is the mouth opening up. Okay, so there we go. That can move. And now we're going to put our teeth and our fire inside of there. So inside your bag, you should have some white. You should have lots of different little things in here. So I'm going to grab my white, and I'm going to make little pointy teeth. And they don't have to be perfect. I just kind of like move back and forth. I find angles in my paper because I don't want them to look perfect. Or if you wanted to, if you want them to look perfect, you can cut in angles on your page. Just moving back and forth until you have enough teeth. Then a little dot of glue on the white. And you can even take some of that, rub it on your second one, because these won't take a lot of glue. And we're going to start putting our teeth inside our mouth. Make sure you're getting more glue on your teeth than you're getting on you. I'm getting a lot of glue on me. They don't want to stick. There we go. Now, a little trick, if you're using liquid glue like I am, you can put it in a little dish and use a brush instead of trying to use the tip. It's a little bit harder to do that way. So there we go. There's our teeth inside our dragon. And now we can take and we can put our flame. So it's up to you if you want to use red, orange, a mixture. And I'm going to cut this into strips. They can be as thin or thick as you would like. I'm going to do some that are bigger and smaller. And now we're going to glue those right there in the middle. A little bit of glue, don't glue the whole thing. And there we go, we have our flame, we have our mouth. Now it's up to you if you want to close up your mouth, you could glue it closed, or you could leave it open if you want it to be able to engage with you. I'm gonna leave mine open because I like that look. I like the fact that it can engage with me and it moves around more. So now we can go ahead and add horns on our dragon. I'm going to use some yellow paper that was in that pouch. I'm going to fold it in half. And then I'm going to make a curve. Now they could just go straight up, kind of like your teeth. And you can make them as big or as small as you want. But I would recommend doing them at the same time. So here we go. Here's our horns. And I'm going to go right on top of there. So little dab. I'm going to share that dab with my other piece. I kind of just use the other paper as a brush. And let's put them on here. Now in your bag, if you picked one up from the library, you should have a piece of yarn and some googly eyes. Now you have some extra things in your pouches, and that's so you can play around. Your dragon doesn't have to look exactly like mine. You can experiment. Do you want different colors? Do you want it to be bigger, smaller? Do you want there to be more horns? Do you want there to be ridges down the back? That's up to you. So now I'm going to take my googly eyes. If you don't have googly eyes, you can just take a pen and you can draw them on. I'm going to drop my googly eyes on there. And he is starting to come to life. Here we go, got my glue. And there are my eyes. Now we want to add our little like whiskers from our front. So we're gonna cut our string in half. And again, you could cut them shorter and do multiple if you wanted to. And I'm gonna do a little dot right here, a little bit of a line so it can follow it. I'm gonna put our yarn right there. And the last finishing touch, I'm gonna add his little nostrils. So just 2 little arched lines. I did that with a marker. You can do it with a pen or a paintbrush or even paper. So here is our finished dragon. Now you can go ahead. I also have, I have these scraps that we had from before. I have more things in here. You can add other decorations. You can add other details to your dragon. Anything you want. I also, chalk is great on white paper. We could add things to the background. We could add legs on. Whatever you want to do. If you want to take some white chalk and add some details, you could do that. So here is our finished dragon out of cupcake liners or cut out circles. I hope you had fun making our dragon craft today. Remember, if you like, give this video a thumbs up. And remember, you can post your photo of your art on the Winfield Public Library's Facebook page, and they would love to see it. I know Miss Nutra would love to see what you've created. And remember, if there's a country that you really like, maybe you're from a certain country and you want us to do a project on it, or there's some kind of art that you've always been interested in, let us know. And maybe we'll get around to it in the summer or some other time, or I'll get around to it on my page. So go ahead and like this video, and I will see you guys later. Bye!